Hello guys, welcome back to Ceefashion Academy. Today I'm going to be teaching us how to make an overlapping v-neck. Yes, I'm going to be teaching us how to make a blouse that has overlapping v-neck. So I want you guys to make sure you concentrate, make sure you watch this video to the end. Also, I want to let you guys know that our book is ready, the perfect dress cutting guide. Yes, our book is ready. I want you to make sure you order for yours. It's going to teach you all you need to know on how to cut any type of dress. Thanks and may God bless you. Okay guys, so the first thing we are going to be doing, we are going to be working with the measurement. Okay, before that I still want to let you know that we are working on overlapping neck blouse. Yes, so let's talk about the measurement. We have the shoulder. Shoulder is 14 inches. We have the bust, that is the bust length is 9 inches, while the bust circumference is 35. We have the under bust. The under bust length, which is 13 inches, while the under bust circumference is 30. And we also have the blouse length. The blouse length, which is 23, while the blouse hip is 36 inches. Okay. So this is actually our phone number for those that want to chat us on WhatsApp, or for those that want to order for our book, The Perfect Dress Cutting Guide. Do make sure you use our WhatsApp number and chat us. So we are going to be using a method called Together method. I've been using this method. We use it normally cutting shirts, senators, and the rest. Yes, I love using this method. That is the method we are going to be using, such that at the end of the day, we are going to be cutting out both the front and the back together. Okay. So the first thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be folding our paper. Yes, we are working with a pattern paper, but I'm still going to be teaching us how to fold. So we are going to be working with the bust circumference, which is 35 inches. Please, I also want you to know that you can also work with the highest circumference, which is the hip, 36. But if you look at them, you notice that both of them are almost equal. So the 35 divided by 4 is going to be giving us 8 3/4. So add extra 5 inches to it, which is going to be giving us 13 3/4. You can also approximate it to 14. So that is what we are going to be folding now. We are going to be folding 14 or 13 3/4. You can see that is what we have actually folded. Please make sure you mark it out continuously, so as to make sure you get a straight line while folding. Okay, so make sure you mark out your 14 inches. Okay, so after you are done marking out your 14 inches, next thing I want you to do is to cross check it. Yes, as you can see, we have 14 inches. Cross check it, we have 14 inches. So next thing you are going to be doing is that you are going to be folding it out. Okay, so that is the width. That is the width. Please, I would really want you to know that whenever you are working with a together method, you have to first of all fold out for the front. Do you understand? Okay, then when you are done folding out for the front, you can now fold out for the back. So now we have folded the width which we want. We are going to be cutting it out. This is because we are working with a pattern paper. Assuming you're working with a material, you don't have to cut it off. Whenever you're working with a pattern paper, you are meant to use it and trace after cutting. Okay, so as you can see, we are done with the width. So let's work with the length of the dress. So the length of the dress is 23 inches. Are you seeing it? The length of the blouse is 23. We are going to be adding extra 2 inches allowance to it, which is going to be 25. So I want you to make sure you mark out 25 inches. Please, like I said, this is a together method. Okay, so after we are done cutting out both the width and the length of the front, we are going to be doing the same thing at the back part. Okay, so take your rule and they connect. So after you're done connecting, the next thing I want you to do is to use your scissors and they cut it off. Okay, so now the front panel is ready. When I mean the front panel, I mean the front pattern paper that we are going to use to draft is ready. So it's now left for us to cut out the back one. So as you guys can see, the width of the front is 14, while the length is 23 plus 2, which is 25. So the front is actually ready. So when we are using a together method, the back part is going to be the same thing as the width, but the length, the back is going to be longer. Do you understand? Okay, the width is going to be the same, but longer with the length. Okay, so let's see what we are going to be having here. So next thing I want you to do is place it on the pattern paper you've provided for the back. Okay, then make sure you pin it. After you are done pinning it, next thing I want you to do is to use your scissors. Okay, before you use your scissors, as you can see, the back is 3 inches longer. Are you seeing it? Okay, so take your marker and mark it out this way, then use your scissors and then cut it off. Okay, after you are done cutting it off, now for most of you that will be asking why is the back longer with 3 inches, now this is the reason. If you notice at this shirt, you notice that the back is coming over to the front. Yes, that is the reason why we make the back to be longer. Now the essence of this is to make sure that the dress is relaxing comfortably on the shoulder. Yes, so as to avoid excess rumpling and for the material to relax very well. Okay, as you guys can see, this is the back and this is the front, and we are done cutting out the pattern paper for the front and the back. So the next thing we are going to be doing is I want you to do something. Remove the front, then mark out the zipper allowance for the back, because we're actually going to be making putting a zip. Okay, you can use whatever you want, but for the sake of this particular tutorial, I'm using 1 inch. As you guys can see, I have marked it out. So after you are done, next thing you need to do is to fold it out. Yes, fold it out so as for it not to confuse you. Do you understand? Okay, so guys, fold it out very well. So after you are done folding it out, next thing you need to do is still to place the front and the back together. Yes, when you place it together, please make sure that both of them are equal at the upper part. Then the excess at the back will be coming out at the down part. Are you seeing it? Okay. Are you seeing it? Now, I want to show you something. If you notice, the back is now shorter in width. Please don't bother yourself, because at the end of the day, it's even more than what we are going to be drafting. Okay. So, next thing I want you guys to do is we are going to marking out what we call the shoulder slope. If you look at the shoulder is 14 divided by 2, which is going to be 7 inches. So, make sure you mark out 7 inches. Okay. Make sure you mark out 7 then add extra ½ inch allowance for the seam allowance. Then for the shoulder slope, mark out 2 inches. This is what we usually use for female. We usually use from 1 inch to 2 inches for female, while for men we use 2 inches to 3 inches. Then use your rule and connect it slantwise like this. Okay, then this is actually the shoulder slope. As you can see, both the front and the back are together at the upper side. Then use your scissors and they cut it out. Okay, now when you are done cutting it out, both of them are still equal at the upper part. Release your pin. Now take the front down. When you take the front down, you now notice that the back is now longer at the upper part. That is actually what we want. So we are getting to that point that, okay, so next thing I want you to do is to use your pin and they hold it together. Use your pin and hold them so that they won't shift. After you are done holding them together, next thing I want you to do is fold the back so as for it to be touching the front. Okay, this is usually what we do. Fold the back so that for it to be touching the front. Are you seeing it? Okay. So now that you are done, we are going to be constructing the armhole. Please mark out the same shoulder, then add your extra ½ inch allowance. Okay, make sure you mark it out again so as to achieve a very straight line. Okay, then use your rule and connect. Use your rule and connect in order to get a straight line. Just connect, please. It doesn't really matter where you're going to be stopping. Okay, now to stop at a particular point, we are going to be using armhole length. Please, for you to get your armhole length, the simplest form is whatever you have on the shoulder. If you have 14 on the shoulder, which is 7, add extra ½ inch to it, which is 7.5. Are you seeing it? That is what you are going to measure as the armhole length. Okay, so what am I trying to say? Whatever you have on the shoulder this way, are you seeing it? 7 plus half, 7.5. Just take it down exactly. That is what you are going to be using as your armhole length. Okay, now use your rule and they connect a horizontal line. Remember, we are actually constructing the armhole. So next thing is we are going to marking out a diagonal, 1 inch diagonal. This is used to form the armhole. Now mark out 1 inch diagonal. Next thing you are going to do, since we have 7.5 as the armhole length, get the midpoint of 7.5. Are you seeing it? 3¾ then connect it with a curve this way, as you can see on your screen. Okay, so next thing we are going to be doing now is we are done with the armhole, but we need to effect what we call the armhole effect. So at this midpoint, take your tape and place, then step in by ½ to 3/4. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using 3/4. Okay, are you seeing it? Okay, now this armhole effect, I want you to make sure, since we have a point here and here, make sure you connect it. Please, armhole effect is necessary and is only applied in front in order to reduce all the excess rumpling and foldings you usually see on dresses. So you guys can see this is the front part of the armhole. Okay, so that is how we are going to be cutting it. We are going to be cutting the back part first, then later on we now cut the front part. Okay. So next thing we are going to be doing now is what we call the vertical measurement. That is from the shoulder to the bust length, from the shoulder to the underbust, and from the shoulder to the blouse length. Okay, so from the shoulder to the bust length, we are going to be marking it out now. From the shoulder to the bust length is 9 inches. From the shoulder to the underbust is 13 inches. From the shoulder to the blouse length is 23. And what is remaining here is 25. Are you seeing it? We have marked out the 2 inches for the hemming allowance. So use your rule and the connect. When you are done connecting, use your scissors and cut off the excess which you have at the down part. As you guys can see, we have the bust length, we have the underbust length, and we have the blouse length, then plus extra 2 inches allowance for the hemming. Okay, so now that we are done, we now have to put the circumferences, that is the horizontal measurement. So the bust, which is 35 inches divided by 4, is going to be giving us 8 3/4. So make sure you take your tape and mark out 8 3/4. Are you seeing it? Okay, mark out 8 3/4. So when you are done marking out 8 3/4, next thing I want you to do is add your extra 2 inches body allowance. As you can see, yes, you have to do that before you mark other ones. Okay, so marking the underbust is 30 inches, which is divided by 4. You will now have 7.5. Mark out 7.5. Then add extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, now you are going to be adding extra 1 inch allowance in case you are putting a dart on the dress. Are you seeing it? Add extra 1 inch allowance. But if you are not putting a dart, you have to just use only the 2 inches body allowance. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be adding a dart on it. So talking about the blouse hip, which is 36 inches, you have to divide by 4, which is going to be giving us 9 inches. Then add extra 2 inches to it, which is going to be 11 inches. So the next thing we are going to be doing now, we are going to be connecting. But like I said, in a situation, assuming we are not having a dart, you just have to connect this way. Are you seeing it? But since we are going to be having a dart, just connect through this way. Are you seeing it? Connect to extra 1 inch we applied at the underbust. Okay, as you guys can see, we have connected with our hand. You can also connect with other curves. Okay, now we are going to be marking out the base curve. Okay, this is a very important. Now as you can see, what I just used here is 3 inches. Then next thing you have to do, you have to get the midpoint of the down part. Are you seeing it? We have 11. Then the midpoint is going to be 5.5. Okay, so this is where we are going to be connecting to the 3 inches we measured earlier. Now look at it. Connect it this way. Are you seeing it? Okay, and we are now ready. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to use our scissors and cut it off. If you notice the way we cut off the armhole, we first of all cut out the other one. Then we are now going to be trimming out the armhole effect in front. So after you're done doing that, guys, as you can see, we're almost ready. Next thing I want you to do is to mark out the dart. So a dart, and we need what we call the nipple to nipple. Do you understand? That is bust span. So for a bust of 35, we are going to be using 7 inches. And since we are folding our material into 2, 7 divided by 2 is going to be 3.5. So make sure you mark out 3.5. Are you saying it? Okay. And you are going to be adding extra half-inch allowance for the seam allowance. Okay. 3.5 plus extra half-inch allowance. Please, in case you are going to be using your pattern paper to trim on the material, you are going to be excluding the half-inch because you are going to be adding it while trimming. Okay. So in order to effect the dart, that usually starts at 1 inch below the bust line, as you can see now. Okay. And the dart ends at 2 inches before the hip line, or 2 inches above the hip line. Are you seeing it? 2 inches above the hip line. So let's mark out from the original measurement, mark out 2 inches above the hip line. Okay, now we have gotten it. So we now have to fully effect the dart, and we are going to be doing that at the tiniest point. So the tiniest point is the underboss. So mark out ½ inch on each side. As you guys can see, we now have all these points. So use your rule and they connect just this way. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are going to be having a princess dart. That is what we are. So you just need to connect from the boss point down to the midpoint of the armhole. That is how to get your princess dart. Okay, the next thing we are going to be working on now is the neck. Remember, we are working on V-neck. Look at it, we are working on V-neck. So in order to really get this neck, we have to draft a normal neck. Yes, that is how I want to teach it. And to draft a normal neck, we have the neck width, which I'm going to be using 3 inches. This is the standard neck width. So let's use it, guys. Okay, mark it out and also get the neck depth. We are going to be marking out the neck depth now. Okay. So the neck depth that we are going to be using, as you guys can see, is actually 3 inches. Okay, guys, now look at it. It's 3 inches. So use your rule and they connect in order to get the neck block. We're using another marker because this is not the actual neck which we are going to be using at the end of the day. So let's get the curves, which I think and I know all of you guys know how to get the curve. Just the same way we got at the armhole, we are still going to be using the same way. Now here, make sure you mark out ½ inch diagonally. Are you seeing it? So make sure you connect all of them in order to get a basic neckline. Okay, so use your scissors and cut it out. Please make sure as you are cutting it out, don't cut out both of them. It is very important. Lift it up, lift the front part up, then cut it out. Then now cut out the back part separate. Okay, in order to finish cutting out the back parts, you can see on this particular point, step down with extra ½ inch. Are you seeing it? Then connect it to where you stopped cutting. Now look at it, step down with how many? 1 inch. Now look at it, then connect it to where you stopped cutting. Then use your scissors and cut it off. The reason why we are first drafting a normal neck is so as not to confuse you for the back, because this V-neck, if we draft it directly, it's going to confuse you. So now let's prepare the pieces for the overlap. Please, this one is just for, I'm going to be using it to show you guys how this thing is. Do you understand? So this is how it's going to overlap on each other. Are you seeing it? Okay, and look at it. The width here is 2 inches. I'm going to be using these 2 inches to explain something very important for you guys. Now look at it. On the front part, you have to mark out 2 inches because that is the thickness we want our own band to be, 2 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay. So make sure you mark it out, 2 inches. Okay. Then talking about the depth of the overlapping V-neck. Now let's say the actual depth is 7 inches. Actual depth that the customer wants is 7 inches. We are going to be adding extra 2 inches to it. I know most of us might be asking why extra 2 inches. Yes, I'm still going to show you why we are going to be adding extra 2 inches to it. Like I said, the pieces I cut out is just to show you something. This is not the actual pieces we are going to be cutting out so as to be using for this neck. Now look at the reason why we're adding extra 2 inches. Are you seeing it? When you overlap it, you notice that we are having extra 2 inches overlapping. Are you seeing it? So that's why we need extra. Look at it here. Yes, as you're overlapping it, you notice that 7 is stopping somewhere while the full length is stopping after 2 inches. Are you seeing it? 7, then extra 2 inches. Are you seeing it? That is why we are adding extra 2 inches to the depth. So make sure you mark out 9 inches as the neck depth. Okay. Now, when you are done, next thing you need to do is to measure out ½ inch. Please, this ½ inch is very important, especially for a 2 inches band. Yes, for a 2 inches band. Just note that. Okay, make sure you mark it out. Then use your rule and connect. Are you seeing how we've just done it? Okay, we first removed 2 inches, then the neck depth is 7, we added extra 2 inches, then we now connected, and we're now going to be using our scissors to cut it off. Are you seeing it? 2 inches, okay. Then the depth, which is 7 inches, we added extra 2 inches, which is compulsory. Please, anytime you are using a 2 inches band to fix, make sure you add extra 2 inches to your neck depth. Are you seeing it? Use it and cut it out. Okay, remember what I said? The pieces you saw me use was just for example on how the neck is going to work. So now I'm going to be cutting out the actual neck pieces. Since it is 2 inches, it means that the width of the one you are going to be cutting out is going to be 2.5. Why? Because the ½ inch is going to be for the joining of the band to the front neck. Do you understand? Okay, just know that this particular neck is only the front part that we are actually fixing this band. Are you seeing it? Remember what I said? The width of the band is 2 inches. Then the actual width is going to be 2.5 because the ½ inch is going to be for the join. We are going to be joining it on the front part of the neck. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now let's fold it out. Let's fold it out. We just need 2.5 inches. So when we check it is not up to 2.5, we have to rearrange it in order to get a perfect 2.5 inches. Okay. So are you seeing it? So now let's talk about the neck depth. Now we have gotten 2.5. The neck depth, are you seeing it? Measure this way. You now have 8 inches. Please, I want you to add extra 5 inches to it. Please follow this step by step. Now at the end of the day, you now have 13. Okay. Remember we had the width to be 2.5. Then the depth is now going to be 13. Please, I want you to know after you finish cutting this out, we are going to be having it into 2. We are going to be having 2 of it. Are you seeing it? Fold it and cut it out this way. We need it again. So let's immediately get it. Are you seeing it? We now have it double. So this is really how to cut the pieces which we use for the overlapping. I hope it is very clear. If it is not clear, make sure you comment in the comment section. Okay, now let's cut the short sleeve. Before you cut short sleeve for this particular dress, before you need your pattern paper and you also need to fold your pattern paper. But the thing is, what are you going to be folding with? You're going to be folding with armhole length. You guys already know armhole length. Okay, now see armhole length. Armhole length is the distance from the tip of the shoulder down to the armpit, and which we have 7.5 inches. Now look at it. That is what we are going to be folding the width of our pattern paper for the sleeve. Okay, then this 7.5, add extra 2 inches to it. You don't just fold only 2.5, you fold 9.5. That is 2.5 plus 2, which is 9.5. So if you notice at what we have folded, you notice that we have actually gotten 9.5. Are you seeing it? Okay, so let's get the length of the sleeve. So that one is very simple. The length of the sleeve is 8 inches, then plus extra. The length of the sleeve is 8 inches, then plus extra 2 inches allowance, making it up to 10 inches. So use your rule and connect. After you are done connecting, make sure you cut it out so as for this big pattern paper not to confuse us. Do you understand? Okay, just cut it out, guys. Okay, then after you've cut it out, make sure you displace other ones so as for this thing to be very clear. Okay, now in order for you to draft, you need the vertical measurement, and the first vertical measurement is what we call the sleeve cap height. Sleeve cap height is something as the bicep length. Do you understand? The bicep length. Okay, now this is the formula to get the sleeve cap height. Is the bust circumference divided by 12 plus 0.5 inches. Bust circumference divided by 12 plus 0.5, which is 35 divided by 12 plus 0.5 is 3.41. That is what we have gotten. So you can as well go ahead to approximate it to 3.5 or 3.41. Are you seeing it? At that point, make sure you mark it out. So next thing we want to do is the armhole depth, which is 7.5. Are you seeing it? Mark it out. Then also get the midpoint. Yes. Also get the midpoint. Are you seeing it? Then mark it out. Then at the midpoint, step down with ½ inch. Please, there are many methods of cutting sleeve. This is one of the best methods also. Then connect from this place to that ½ inch in this manner. Are you seeing how the curve is going? Then make sure you stop at the midpoint of this place. Are you seeing it? Yes, that is how to do it. Okay. Then the next thing we are going to be doing now is, now look at it. Let's measure the bicep. The bicep is 13 inches, which is 6.5. Then add extra 2 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay. Next is the sleeve length, which is 8 inches. Look at it. Okay. So at this very point, we are going to be measuring the round sleeve or sleeve circumference. But before that, take your rule and roll it down first of all. Okay. So let's measure it out. Okay. So make sure you mark out whatever your round sleeve is, add extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, now that we have done it, so you can see that 2 inches allowance. If you are folding your sleeve, there is a way to cut it out. You don't cut it out straight, you cut it out this way. Are you seeing it? And this way means straight, just add extra ½ inch to it. Just, are you seeing it? This is exactly how to cut it out. Yes, it helps a lot. So use your scissors and then cut it out. Then make sure you notch the middle point. Like I said, guys, there are many ways of cutting a sleeve. If you still want to know other methods of cutting a sleeve, make sure you watch my videos. Are you seeing what I've just done here? Now let me repeat it again. Always cross check the armhole of the pattern for the dress. Cross check it. What we have is 10.5. Are you seeing it? Use it before you cut out your sleeve. Use it and cross check. If it is not okay, you have to adjust it. Now let's see whether we are getting whether we are going to get 10.5. Oh my god, so we have gotten 10.5. that means it is now okay. All you have to do is to use your scissors and then cut it out. Make sure you notch the center. It is very, very important, guys. So after you are done, remember there's something I really want to teach you on, how to apply an armhole dart on the sleeve. Do you understand? Now for me to do that, I have to duplicate this sleeve. It's mandatory. So guys, let's duplicate this sleeve immediately. So you guys can see we have duplicated the sleeve. So we are going to be separating them now. Now look at it. We are going to be labeling them. So let's label them. The right side and the wrong side. Okay. Right side is represented as the front part of the material. The wrong side is the back part of the material. What do I mean? The right side on a material is always that side that is bright, while the wrong side is always the side that is not bright, dull on a material. So place right side versus right side. Are you seeing it? Okay, place it, pin it. Are you seeing it? Right side versus right side, left, wrong side versus wrong side. Okay. In this case, we use wrong side versus wrong side. Okay, you must not do wrong side versus right side, else you will mess it up. Now from the midpoint, make sure you mark it out this way. Are you seeing it? This is ½ inch from the midpoint. Now look at it, ½ inch. Are you seeing it? Okay, just do it this way. Then use your scissors and they cut it off, and we are now good to go. Thank God we're almost done. We are now good to go. Make sure you like this video, because that's the only thing you can do for me at this very moment. Okay, now make sure you label the front and the front. Are you seeing it? So as when you are fixing it, you know where to fix it. This is the front part of the material. No, this is the front part of the sleeve. Do you understand what I mean? The part which you are going to be sewing at the front part of the dress, and the part which you are going to be sewing at the back part. Now look at exactly what I mean. Are you seeing it? This side which is entering inside is going to be fixed on the side that is entering on the material, while the side that is longer is going to be fixed on the side that is longer on the body pattern. Are you seeing it? Okay, just do the same thing on the other sleeve, and we are now good to go. Are you seeing? If you fix it like this, is very wrong, but if you fix it like this, you are extremely right. That's why I marked it good. Okay, so guys, I still want you to know that our book is still on sale. Our book is still on sale. So let's cut out the yoke, because the back part neck actually needs a yoke. So get a pattern paper, anyone you want to get. Place it just the way we have placed it like this, and cut it out just the way we are cutting it out. Are you seeing it? Just cut it out this way. Okay. Now when you are done cutting it out, just unfold the other one just the way we have folded it, because we need space to mark out. So you need to mark out 3 inches. This is exactly how to make a facing, no matter anywhere you want to put it. Are you seeing it? Mark out 3 inches. After you have done marking out 3 inches, remove the pin because it's actually disturbing us. So use your marker and connect. Yes, that is the curve which we are going to be cutting out now. Now use your scissors and then cut it out, and voila, we are good to go. The facing is actually ready. Are you seeing it? The facing is 100% ready. So the next thing we are going to be doing is to sew the blouse.
Welcome to the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide, a masterclass from Ceefashion Academy in dressmaking with detailed instructions and expert advice. Embark on this journey to create your own piece. Unearth the enigmatic secrets of flawless dress cutting techniques. Imbue charm with your personal touch and unique creations, captivating undivided attention. Get bonus content from renowned fashion designers inside this guide. your craft to rival professional designs. Access the perfect dress cutting guide anytime, anywhere. Discover a world of fashion at your fingertips. Just a click away, your dreams await. Get an early bird discount on the perfect dress cutting guide. Embrace creativity, elegance, step into a world of creativity and elegance. Unleash your sewing prowess, harness your creativity, ignite your imagination, design, stitch and craft. Make something extraordinary. WhatsApp us now for yours, +2 347 030 445 028. God bless you all.